All right. As in several migration and development related projects, data is a major need because it sets the parameters, it sets the indicators, it determines what kind of programmatic activities do we want to be implemented, particularly at the local level. It is very important, particularly for JMDI in the Philippines, because most of our projects are really leaning towards mainstreaming migration into the local development plans and in the annual investment programmings of the various local governments that we are operating in. And most of our partners in this area of work are the planning and development officers at the local level. And as planning officers, generally speaking, the plans, whether that's developmental, that's economical, or that's social, it will always have a situationer. The situationer will provide an analysis of what is the current situation, what is the issue, what are the challenges that we would like to address at the local level, and how do we make improvements, and how do we enhance, and how do we implement these programs that we have so that it could address the challenges. And data is very important in all of these things. And when I speak of data, particularly in JMDI, in the field of migration and development, it is not just the data on the number of migrants, it's not just the data on the profile of overseas Filipinos, as in the case of the Philippines. It is not just about where do they go, what kind of work do they have, what kind of educational attainment do they have, but it's also the data on the remittances that they have, the jobs, how often did they make use of financial resources, what kind of income and saving potentials do they have so that they can invest back in their community. And also, it's very important for us to determine the data on their migrants' families, on the migrants' families, because these are the people who are interacting with the local governments on the ground. These are the people who are advocating for the local governments to change their policies. Therefore, we should know who these families are, what are their interests, what are their needs, what kind of welfare or legal or psychosocial assistance do they need in order that the local development plans will be responsive to whatever that the local government units will be doing. These migrant families will be the migrants' representation into the local development processes. They are part of the decision making, the dialogue, the encounter, the advocacy to the local government units. Therefore, we should know who these people are so that the local development plans will be directly responsive to the needs, to the interests, to the welfare, and to the benefit of the migrants and their families. So that's how important it is. Planning-wise, mainstreaming-wise, incorporating migration and development into the local development plans and annual investment programs will always be based on how exhaustive, how comprehensive, how accurate, and how real-time these data are, so that it could make the mayor or the governor or the local legislature appreciate what really is the situation of migration of overseas Filipinos and their families at the local level. So that's practically the significance of this data. It really helps in the programming, in the planning, in the decision making, as well as in prioritizing programs and services. In the Philippines, for example, because of the large number of overseas Filipinos, and because of the complexity of their profile, because of how huge, how complex, how diverse their characters, their needs, and profiles are, the local government units do not necessarily have the all-out means or the most comprehensive capacity to respond to all the migrants and their families are demanding from the local governments. Usually, migrants, the migrant organizations have a list or have a wish list that they would like to get from their local governments. And an LGU, because of its limited resources, both in terms of finances and in terms of personnel and in terms of any other technical capacities, would have to determine which of these will be the priority. And you can only determine which one will be very important, which is the priority, if you know exactly what the characters, what the profiles, and what the needs are of the migrant.